I never thought I'd end up in a courtroom spilling my guts like some trashy daytime TV confession. But there I was, staring down the man who'd sworn to love me forever while he twisted the knife deeper with every lie. My 9-year-old daughter, Ellie, had just hit play on that damn video, and the judge's face went white as a ghost in a snowstorm, right before the entire room erupted in chaos. What came next? Well, let's just say it proved that revenge isn't always sweet. Sometimes it's a poison you swallow twice, and in the end, you're the one left choking. It started 6 months before the papers hit the judge's desk, back when life in our sleepy suburb of Oak Ridge, Connecticut, still pretended to be the American dream wrapped in a white picket fence. I was Leah Harper, 34, a high school English teacher with a side hustle baking pies for the local farmers market, the kind of woman who volunteered at PTA meetings and still believed in second chances. My husband, Tom, was the golden boy, 36, VP at a tech startup in Stamford, with that easy grin and those broad shoulders that made every mom at soccer practice fan herself discreetly. We'd met at Yale, me on a scholarship scraping by on ramen, him from old money, the kind that buys you connections but not character. 8 years married, 1 kid, a golden retriever named Max, and a mortgage we could just afford. Or so I thought. The betrayal didn't come with fireworks or a dramatic rain-soaked confrontation like in the movies. It slithered in quiet, like fog off Long Island Sound. I found the emails first, tucked away in a folder labeled Work Expenses on his laptop, the one he left open because he thought I was too trusting to snoop. Can't wait to make this official, babe. Leah's clueless as ever. Thinks I'm pulling all-nighters for the merger. Signed, your soon-to-be ex? T. From him to Sarah, my best friend since freshman orientation. Sarah goddamn Wilkins, the one who'd held my hand through fertility struggles, toasted my promotion with cheap champagne, and crashed on our couch after her own divorce. They'd been screwing for over a year, right under my nose, plotting to bleed me dry in the settlement. But that was just the appetizer. The real gut punch. The secret Tom had buried deeper than Jimmy Hoffa. Turns out, 2 years back, during that merger he was so proud of, Tom had cooked the books, falsified reports to snag a fat government contract, pocketing kickbacks that could have landed him in federal prison for wire fraud. When the auditors came sniffing, he panicked. And who did he throw under the bus? Me. Forged my signature on a dummy consulting agreement, made it look like I'd signed off on the shady deals as his office manager. I was clueless, buried in grading papers and Ellie's ballet recitals, but suddenly the feds were knocking, and Tom played the victim card. My wife handled the admin. I trusted her. I lawyered up quick, but the damage stuck. My teaching license under review, whispers at school about that Harper woman, and Ellie asking why kids called her Jailbird's daughter at recess. I took the fall without a fight at first. God, why? Because I loved him. Because Ellie needed her dad, the one who built forts in the living room and promised her the world. And because Tom whispered in the dark, if you go down for this, I'll make sure we all sink. Think of our girl. So I swallowed it, pleaded to a misdemeanor, community service, the whole humiliating rigmarole. Probation for a crime I didn't commit. While he sailed on, promotion in hand, bonus check cashed. Deep down, I knew it was revenge waiting to bloom, but I pruned it back, told myself it was for family. What a crock. The divorce filing hit like a nor'easter in July. Tom's lawyer, some slick Bridgeport shark named Harlan, painted me as the villain, unstable, prone to fabrication due to my recent legal troubles. He wanted full custody, the house, alimony reversed because I'd sabotaged his career. Sarah, that snake, backed him up with affidavits swearing I was erratic, citing made-up fights where I'd apparently smashed plates. News to me. I could see her in the deposition video, all Botox and blowout, batting lashes like she was auditioning for Real Housewives. Friends picked sides, half ghosted me, the other half sent pity casseroles. Ellie? She started wetting the bed again, clinging to my leg at drop-off, whispering, "Don't let Daddy take me away, Mommy. He scares me sometimes." That's when the anger turned to action. Not the screaming kind. I'd learned silence was my sharpest weapon. I hired Rita, a no-bullshit attorney from New Haven who'd clawed her way out of a similar mess. "We're not just fighting for custody, Leah," she said over black coffee in her cluttered office. "We're exposing the rot. But it'll get ugly." Ugly? Try nuclear. I started documenting everything. Tom's late nights that smelled like Sarah's Chanel, the offshore account I'd hacked into. Don't judge. Desperation breeds bad choices. Transfers totaling $250,000 skimmed from our joint savings. And the big one, the video. Ellie found it. Bless her curious little heart. She'd been fiddling with Tom's old phone, the one he lost, but I knew he'd hidden in the garage. "Mommy, what's this?" she'd asked, wide-eyed, holding up a clip of her dad and Sarah in our bed, laughing, plotting. We wait till the fraud thing blows over, then I file. She'll be so grateful she covered for me. She'll sign anything. My blood ran cold, then hot. But it wasn't just pillow talk. The camera caught Tom admitting the frame job, waving a printout of my forged signature like a trophy. Leah's my get-out-of-jail-free card. Pathetic, right? Ellie didn't understand half of it, but she got the hurt in my eyes. "We show the judge, Mommy. Make it fair." I hesitated. Exposing this in court meant dragging Ellie into the mud. Therapy bills, judgmental stares at school, a childhood scarred by adult sins. But Tom's custody play? He'd already started alienating her, canceling weekends with excuses, filling her head with Mommy's too busy being angry. If I rolled over, I'd lose her to a man who'd sacrifice his own kid for a clean getaway. So I nodded, heart pounding like a bass drum at a 4th of July parade. "Okay, baby, but only if you're sure." She hugged me fierce, her small voice muffled against my shirt. "I'm sure. Daddies aren't supposed to lie." The weeks blurred into a haze of depositions and discovery. Tom flipped like a politician in an election year. Charming in mediation, venomous in emails. "You're poisoning her against me, Leah." Classic borderline move. Harlan pushed for supervised visits, citing my instability, but Rita countered with psych evals proving I was the rock. Sarah testified via Zoom, all faux sympathy. Leah's always been jealous. I never meant to hurt her. The judge, a stern woman named Hargrove with silver hair and eyes like steel, seemed impartial, but I caught her glancing at Tom with that subtle nod men like him buy with golf outings. Then came the pretrial hearing, where the real mind games kicked in. Tom cornered me in the hallway, his cologne hitting like a slap. "Drop this custody bullshit, Leah. Sign the papers, and I'll make the fraud charges vanish. Pull some strings." His eyes darted to Ellie, coloring in the corner with Rita. For her sake. I wanted to spit in his face, but I played coy. "What strings, Tom?" "The ones that got me probation." He smirked, that same smirk from our wedding photos. "You always were the smart one. Too bad you're too broke to fight." That night, I broke. Curled on the kitchen floor, wine bottle half empty, I scrolled through old photos. Us at the Grand Canyon, Ellie as a newborn in his arms. How does love curdle so fast? By dawn, resolve hardened like concrete. This wasn't just divorce, it was reckoning. I'd borne his sins, shielded him from the storm, and he'd repay me by stealing my daughter? No, the video would be my Excalibur, pulled from the stone of his hubris. But as I rehearsed with Ellie, her tiny hands trembling on the tablet, doubt crept in. Was I the hero, or just another parent weaponizing a kid? The line blurred, and that's what kept me up, knowing revenge demands a toll, and mine might bankrupt us all. Court day dawned gray and drizzly, the kind of Connecticut weather that seeps into your bones. Oak Ridge Superior Court loomed like a brick fortress, flags limp in the mist. Ellie clutched my hand as we climbed the steps, her backpack slung over one shoulder like armor. "I can do it, Mommy," she whispered, but her palm was sweaty. Rita squeezed my other arm. "Hargrove's fair, but she's old school. Keep it clean." "Clean?" With Tom smirking across the aisle, Sarah perched beside him like a vulture in pearls. Fat chance. Opening arguments flew like arrows. Harlan painted Tom as the devoted dad, me as the bitter ex clinging to grudges. Mrs. Harper's accusations are desperate fabrications from a woman scorned. Rita fired back, calm as Lake Michigan. Mr. Harper's deceit runs deeper than infidelity. We're here for truth and custody. Then came witnesses. Neighbors swearing Tom was the perfect father. My principal testifying to my exemplary character despite the unfortunate misunderstanding with the law. Tom took the stand, all earnest humility. "I made mistakes, Your Honor, but Leah's twisting them to punish me. Ellie's my world. I'd never hurt her." Ellie was last, subpoenaed at my request, but with Hargrove's gentle nod. The courtroom hushed as she shuffled up, 9 years old in a navy dress that swallowed her, tablet in hand. "State your name for the record, sweetheart." Hargrove said, voice softening like butter on toast. Eleanor Harper. Tom beamed, but I saw the flicker. Nerves? Or calculation? She glanced at me, then him, eyes like saucers. Do you love your mommy and daddy? The judge asked. Ellie nodded fierce. Yes, but daddy did bad things. And mommy knows, but she got blamed. Harlan objected. Hearsay, Your Honor. But Hargrove overruled, leaning forward. Let her speak. This is her life. Ellie took a breath, hit play. The screen flickered to life on the courtroom projector, Tom's voice booming. Leah's my get-out-of-jail-free card. Gasps rippled. Sarah's hand flew to her mouth. Tom's face drained to ash. The clip rolled, him laughing with her, admitting the frame, the affair, the plots. She'll sign anything to keep the peace. Ellie paused it, voice steady. See? He lied. About everything. Chaos erupted. Harlan jumped up, sputtering about tampering. Tom lunged forward. That's out of context, but bailiffs held him back. Spectators whispered, reporters in the back row scribbling like mad. Hargrove banged her gavel, face thunderous. Order. Mr. Harper, explain this. He stammered, sweat beading on his brow, but the damage was done. Ellie turned to me, tears brimming but chin high, and in that moment, I felt like the worst mother alive, and the most vindicated. But revenge, as I said, isn't clean. As the judge called recess, Rita pulled me aside. We won the day, Leah, but Tom's team will counter. Hard. She was right. By afternoon, Harlan dropped the bomb, a counter-motion with new evidence. Turns out, Tom had flipped the script again. That video, I'd planted it, according to their PI report, hacking his phone during a supervised visit. Never mind I'd found it organically. They twisted it into cyberstalking, painting me as obsessive. Worse, they subpoenaed Ellie's therapist, who testified under duress that I'd coached her, using the kid as a pawn. Mrs. Harper expressed frustration that Eleanor wouldn't tell the truth about her father. Lies, all of it, but seeded with enough truth to sting. Hadn't I rehearsed with Ellie? Hadn't I hoped she'd say the right words? The courtroom split, women in the gallery nodding at me, men shifting uncomfortably, Hargrove's brow furrowed like she was weighing souls. Tom took the stand again, crocodile tears flowing. I hid the affair because I was ashamed, Your Honor. But Leah's revenge. It's destroying our daughter. Sarah corroborated, voice quivering. Leah confronted me, threatened to ruin us if I didn't leave Tom. The twist hit like a sucker punch at closing. Rita called me to testify, and under oath, I laid it bare. The betrayal, the frame job, the fear for Ellie. I did what any mother would. I said, voice cracking. Protect her from a liar. But Harlan cross-examined like a fox in the henhouse. And when you discovered the video, Mrs. Harper, did you consider deleting it? Or going to the police instead of court? I faltered. Truth? I'd toyed with both, nights staring at that delete button, wondering if absolution meant letting him win. No, I admitted. I wanted him to feel it. Hargrove adjourned for deliberation, the air thick as chowder. Outside, protesters gathered, feminists with signs, moms deserve justice. Men's rights guys chanting, don't weaponize kids. Media swarmed, CNN calling it the custody video that could change family law. Ellie hugged me tight in the lobby, whispering, did I do good? I nodded, throat tight, but inside. A storm. Was I avenging her, or scarring her? Tom's eyes met mine across the hall. Hatred, yes, but something else. Regret? Or just another mask? Days stretched like taffy, each one a limbo of what-ifs. Ellie stayed with me under temporary order, but Tom called daily, his voice honeyed. Tell her daddy loves her. This'll blow over. Bull. Rita prepped us for appeals, but I started cracking. Insomnia, snapping at students, pies burning in the oven. Friends urged therapy. I went once, spilled to a shrink named Dr. Patel about the guilt gnawing like termites. Revenge is a mirror, Leah, he said. It shows you the monster you fear becoming. Monster? Maybe. But Tom's the one who'd forged the chain. The ruling came on a Friday, Hargrove's chambers packed tighter than a Black Friday sale. She cleared her throat, glasses perched like a judge in a John Grisham novel. This case tests the bounds of parental loyalty and betrayal, she began. Mr. Harper, your actions, adultery, financial deceit, framing your spouse, warrant severe consequences. Yet Mrs. Harper, your methods, while understandable, skirted ethical lines, using your child as conduit. The room held its breath. Custody to Mrs. Harper, primary, with generous visitation for Mr. Harper pending counseling. The video evidence is admissible. Fraud charges against Mrs. Harper dismissed, and Mr. Harper referred to authorities for investigation. Cheers from my side, groans from his. Tom bolted up, face purple. This is bullshit. She's the criminal. Bailiffs escorted him out, Sarah trailing like a wilted shadow. Ellie ran to me, burying her face in my skirt, and for a heartbeat, it felt like victory, sweet, hard-won, apple pie American justice. But here's the twist that keeps therapists in business and bar tabs high. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived. From Tom, via his lawyer, no less. Not threats, not pleas. An apology, handwritten, smudged like he'd cried ink. Leah, I was drowning in ambition, and you were my anchor. I cut the rope instead. The frame job haunts me. I'll confess, take the fall. For Ellie. For us, if there's any us left. Enclosed? A check for $300,000. The kickbacks, laundered clean. Use it for her future. I'm sorry doesn't cut it, but it's all I have. I stared at it for hours. Ellie napping upstairs, the dog snoring at my feet. Call the cops? Burn it? Cash it and run? Hargrove's words echoed, no one fully right or wrong. Tom's villainy cracked open a sliver of the man I'd loved, the Yale boy with dreams bigger than his morals. Was this redemption or one last con? I folded the letter, tucked the check in a drawer. For now, Ellie deserved a father, flawed as he was. Me? I'd bake pies, teach Austin, and sleep with one eye open. Revenge won the battle, but the war? That's the debate that lingers, like smoke after fireworks. Beautiful, blinding, and gone too soon. In the end, we moved to a cottage by the shore, Ellie chasing waves, me writing this down because if I don't, it'll fester. Tom's in therapy, facing charges, Sarah vanished to Florida with a realtor. Happy? Tragic? You tell me. All I know is, in America's heartland of broken vows, sometimes the gasp in court is just the start of the real show. Life after the ruling settled like dust after a twister. Messy, but you could finally breathe. Ellie and I packed up the Oak Ridge house, that colonial tomb of memories, and headed east to a rental in Mystic, where the air smelled of salt and second starts. Seagulls screamed overhead like accusatory ghosts, and I told myself this was freedom. No more Tom's shadow in the hallway. No more Sarah's perfume lingering on couch cushions. But freedom's a fickle bitch. It comes with bills and baggage you can't outrun. Ellie adjusted faster than I did. Bless her resilient kid heart. New school, new friends, kids with lobster tattoos from summer fairs and dreams of captaining the Mystic Whalers. Mommy, can we get a boat? She'd ask, eyes sparkling over pancakes drowned in maple syrup. I'd laugh, ruffle her hair. One step at a time, Captain. But nights? That's when the doubts crewed up. I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling fan whirring like a guilty conscience, replaying the courtroom gasp, the collective inhale that toppled Tom's empire. Worth it? Hell yes. But the cost? Ellie's therapy sessions, where she'd draw pictures of a broken family castle, or my own reflection in the mirror, lines etching deeper than 34 should allow. Tom's letter burned a hole in that drawer, a Pandora's box of temptation. I didn't cash the check, not yet, but I read his words till they blurred. I framed you because I was scared, Leah. Scared of losing the life I'd built on sand. You're the strong one, always were. Strong? Try surviving a betrayal that hollowed you out like a gutted flounder. Rita advised caution. He's cornered animals lash out. Keep records. So I did. Every call, every email. He started with voicemails, voice rough like he'd chain-smoked a pack. Ellie, Daddy misses your giggle. Tell Mommy to let me visit. Then texts, wheedling, coffee? For old times. I blocked, unblocked, blocked again, a digital game of hot potato. Sarah slithered back into the narrative via Facebook, of all places. A friend request, with a note. We need to talk. No drama. Drama? She invented the genre. I accepted out of morbid curiosity, and her messages flooded in. Apologies laced with excuses. Tom manipulated me too, Leah. I was lonely after my divorce, and he made me feel seen. Seen? While she stabbed me in the back. I testified because he threatened to expose my own secrets. Affairs from my marriage. Nothing like this, but still. Secrets upon secrets, like Russian dolls of deceit. She wanted forgiveness, or absolution. Or maybe just to salve her Botox conscience. I typed back once, seen this. Attached the video still. Crickets after that. Good riddance. Work grounded me. That steady rhythm of bells and chalk dust. Back at teaching, but now in a seaside high school where kids quoted Kerouac instead of Cliff's Notes. Mrs. H, what's the point of revenge in Hamlet? A sharp-eyed senior asked during lit circle. I paused, apple in hand, irony right. It's the poison that kills the poisoner, Jake. But sometimes, you walk away with the antidote. They nodded, scribbling notes, but I wondered if I believed it. Evenings, I'd bake lavender shortbread for the Mystic Seaport Market, chatting with vendors about lobster rolls and lighthouse lore. Heard about that court drama? Old Mr. Finnegan would wink, pouring coffee. You gave him hell, lass. Small-town fame, part badge, part burden. Ellie's birthdays became my North Star. Her 10th hit in September, goldenrod sun painting the yard. I threw a pirate party. Eye patches, treasure hunts along the beach, cake shaped like the Black Pearl. Tom showed up uninvited, bearing a wrapped telescope, standing awkward at the picket gate like a penitent pilgrim. Just wanted to see her smile, he said, eyes red-rimmed. The guests milled, whispering. I wanted to slam the door, but Ellie spotted him. Daddy, she ran, arms wide, and he scooped her up, spinning till she shrieked with joy. My heart twisted. Love doesn't die clean, it festers. We talked later, after cake and cleanup, Ellie napping with chocolate smeared on her cheek. Your Honor, I joked, handing him coffee on the porch. He didn't laugh. Leah, the feds are circling. Indictment next month. His voice cracked, that VP polish peeling. I deserve it. But Ellie. She'll survive, I said, steel in my spine. Like her mom. He nodded, staring at the waves. The check, use it. College, whatever. It's clean now. Clean? Blood money laundered through regret. Why now, Tom? Really? He met my eyes, raw? Because losing you showed me what a fraud I am. Not just the books, the whole act. I let him stay for sunset, a truce fragile as sea glass. He left with a hug, awkward, paternal, and I watched his taillights fade, wondering if villains get redemption arcs or if that's just Hollywood hokum. That night, I pulled the check out, endorsed it. Half to Ellie's 529, half to a legal fund. For what? I didn't know. Maybe his appeal, or mine if the mud stuck. Fall deepened, leaves turning crimson like warning flags. Tom's trial loomed, splashed across Hartford Courant headlines. Tech exec faces fraud rap in custody scandal. Reporters sniffed around Mystic, but I stonewalled. No comment. Ellie caught wind from schoolyard gossip, drawing courtroom scenes in her sketchbook. Me as Wonder Woman, him as a snarling wolf. Will Daddy go to jail like on TV? She asked, crayon pausing. I knelt, honest as I could. Maybe, baby. But people make mistakes. Big ones. And they pay. She nodded, wise beyond years. Like when I broke your vase and blamed the dog? I laughed, pulled her close. Exactly. But grown-ups? Their vases shatter lives. Sarah resurfaced at the market, of all places, browsing my booth in oversized sunglasses, like a celeb dodging paparazzi. Leah, she breathed, voice all Connecticut drawl. I owe you. Owe me? Try a lifetime supply. We talked over cider donuts, her peeling back layers, Tom's gaslighting, her complicity, the guilt that sent her to shrinks. I thought he loved me, she said, tears salting the glaze. But it was always you he feared losing. Flattery? Or truth? I forgave nothing, but listened, because holding grudges is like drinking poison and waiting for the other to thirst. Winter whispered in with nor'easters, battering the coast like unresolved fury. Tom's plea deal hit the news. 5 years, restitution, the works. He wrote again. Ellie's 10th was magic. Thank you. I visited him pre-sentencing, neutral ground at a Stanford diner, greasy spoons and fluorescent hum. He looked smaller, suit hanging loose. I flipped on the partners, he admitted. They go down too. Justice, delayed but doling. What now? I asked. He shrugged. Prison. Then, rebuild. If she'll have me. Ellie would. Kids forgive like breathing. Me? That was the rub. The controversial turn came New Year's, when Hardro's clerk called. A motion, Mrs. Harper. From Mr. Harper, joint custody revisit. My stomach dropped. He'd appealed the video's weight, claiming parental alienation. Rita fumed. He's desperate, Leah, clinging to control. But doubt seated. Had I alienated? That coaching whisper in Ellie's ear? We fought it in chambers, Hargrove stern. Actions have echoes, counselor. But blood calls. She denied, but added supervised visits ramp up. Split decision, victory laced with venom. Ellie turned 11 in spring, party at the aquarium, sharks gliding like Tom's lies. He came, telescope in tow, and they bonded over constellations projected on the dome. Watching them, laughter echoing off glass tanks, I felt the split. Hero or heel. The court had gasped at truth, but truth's a double-edged sword. Cuts both ways. As petals bloomed outside, I realized revenge's climax isn't the gasp. It's the quiet after, when you pick shards and ponder. Was it worth the war? Mystic's rhythm synced with the tides. Ebb and flow, secrets washed ashore with jellyfish and beer cans. By summer, Tom's incarceration loomed like a storm cloud over Block Island. But life insisted on living. Ellie enrolled in sailing camp, her small frame zipping across the water in an optimist dinghy, wind whipping her ponytail like a victory flag. Look, Mommy, I'm a pirate queen, she'd yell from the bay, and I'd wave from the dock, chest swelling with that fierce mama pride. But undercurrents pulled, letters from Tom, yellowed envelopes postmarked Danbury, spilling regrets like loose change. I dream of her first day of middle school, he wrote, script shaky from lockdown jitters. Tell her daddy's learning to be better. Books on integrity. Ironic, huh? Ironic? Try Kafkaesque. I'd read snippets to Ellie, editing the heavy parts, her brow furrowing. Is daddy a pirate too? Like the bad kind. I'd hug her, murmur, pirates reform, baby, with enough treasure maps. But privately, his words wormed in, stirring the pot of what-ifs. What if I'd exposed the fraud sooner, spared us the divorce circus? What if the video was the mistake, not the frame job? Sarah's redemption arc gained traction, uninvited coffee invites turning to tentative lunches at the S&P Oyster House. I'm leaving Connecticut, she announced over lobster bisque, spoon clinking like gilt chimes. Starting over in Charleston, interior design, fresh slate. Her eyes, once viper-sharp, softened to dough. Forgive me, Leah. Not for me, for you. Forgiveness is gift horse? I peered close, no teeth bared. Water under the bridge, I said, clinking glasses. Liar. It was oil on flames, but holding fire burns your hands. She left a week later, a going-away card with cash for Ellie's camp, tiny amends, and vanished into southern humidity. Work amped up. I landed adjunct night classes at UConn Avery Point, dissecting American lit for co-eds with hangovers and half-baked theses. Revenge plots in Fitzgerald. I'd lecture, pacing under sodium lamps. Gatsby's green light. Chase or curse. Hands shot up. Both, professor. Like real life. Spot on. Post-class, I drive home fog-shrouded roads. Radio humming Springsteen. Born to Run. Fitting anthem for a woman outrunning her past. Engine growling like unresolved rage. Ellie's questions deepened with the years. 11 going on 30, courtesy of therapy and tabloid echoes. Why did Daddy lie about the money, Mommy? Was it for a boat? I'd field them over ice cream cones at the arcade, vanilla melting faster than truths. Grown-ups chase shiny things sometimes, lose sight of home. She'd lick her spoon, thoughtful, like when I wanted that American Girl doll and traded my bike. Precocious parallel. But one night, post-bedtime story, where the wild things are, Natch, she cornered me. The video, did it make me brave or bad? My throat closed like a clam. Bravest thing ever, kiddo. But bravery's heavy. Tom's sentencing day, I took her. Federal courthouse in New Haven, marble halls echoing like Judgment Day. He stood in orange jumpsuit, shackles clinking, but eyes lit when he saw us. My girls, he mouthed through glass. Ellie pressed her palm to the partition, tears tracing freckles. I love you, Daddy. Be good. He nodded, voice muffled. Always, Captain. 5 years, minus time served. Out in 3 with good behavior. As we left, he called to me. Leah, the check was just the start. There's more. For her. More blood money. Or restitution's fruit. Fall brought hurricanes, metaphorical and literal. Henri skirting the coast, flooding basements with brackish regret. Rita retired to Florida, passing my file to a junior shark named Mia. Keep an eye. X's plot like squirrels hoard nuts. Mia was right. Tom's more arrived via wire. Another $150,000, tagged Ellie's future fund. Accompanying note. Partners flipped too. Justice circles. I invested, but unease gnawed. Was this penance or purchase? Ellie's college loomed distant, but so did trust. Controversy reignited at Thanksgiving. Family dinner, my folks from Hartford, aunts with wine-fueled gossip. That bastard got what he deserved, Aunt Peg crowed, passing stuffing. But Uncle Ray, ever the contrarian, grunted. Woman in court with a kid's video? Low blow, Leah. Two wrongs. The table split. Forks paused mid-air. Eyes on me like I was Exhibit A. He framed me for felony. I snapped, turkey knife flashing. Took the fall to save his ass. Peg nodded. Ray shrugged. Ends justify? Debatable. Ellie piped up. It was my idea. Laughter diffused, but the seed sprouted. Had I let her? Or let her? Winter solstice, a package. Tom's prison art, sketches of constellations. Orion's belt, Cassiopeia's throne. For stargazing, the card read. Ellie taped them to her ceiling, glow-in-dark magic. We bundled up for Knowing's holiday stroll, lights twinkling on Main Street like fallen stars. Mommy, think Daddy sees these from jail? She asked, breath fogging. Every night. I lied, squeezing mittens. Lies, small as snowflakes, accumulating. Spring thaw melted reservations. Mia called. Visitation expansion approved. Unsupervised weekends. My gut nodded. Ellie thrilled, me terrified. First drop-off at a park in Groton. Tom waiting on a bench, khakis crisp, no cuffs. Leah, he said, standing. No hug, boundaries now. Thanks for this. Ellie bolted into his arms, and they vanished into swings and slides, laughter carrying on wind. Pick up, her chattering about ice cream, him lingering, she's gold. Leah? We made that. We. The pronoun punched. Don't screw it up, Tom. Summer swelled with salt and second guesses. Ellie at camp again, me auditing a memoir workshop, pinning fragments of this tale, catharsis in ink. Write the controversial, the instructor urged. What makes readers argue at brunch? Easy, the gasp. That video, heroic expose or child exploitation. I argued both in margins, pages curling like questions. Tom's letters evolved. Philosophy now. Quotes from Marcus Aurelius. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. He'd read my mind. I dyed ours black, Leah. Washing it out. Progress? Or performance? Ellie brought home his drawings, her own added. Family under stars, whole again. Watching her, I softened, edges sanded by time. But the real echo hit Labor Day. Sarah's email, from Charleston. Heard Tom's inside. Deserved, but I miss our trio. Coffee when you're south. Trio? Delusions Delta. I deleted, but screenshot. Evidence of loose ends. As leaves turned, so did I, towards tentative truces. Mia warned of appeals, but Hargrove's word held like granite. Ellie turned 12, party at the sub-base, torpedoes and tales of U-boats. Tom came, bearing a model ship, and we co-parented awkward, small talk over cake, shared glances over her head. This work? He asked post-party, loading her bike. For now, I said. Truth. It chafed, like wool in August, but for her? Fall's cusp, a storm warning, Mia's frantic call. Tom's filing for modification, claims you're interfering with visits. Interfering? I'd canceled one for her flu. The cycle spun anew, depositions, affidavits, that familiar courthouse chill. He's testing waters, Mia said. Push back hard. I did, but weariness weighed. Endless war? The hearing loomed, echoes of the first gasp haunting. Ellie, wiser now. Show another video, Mommy? Of us happy, tempting. But growth meant grace. Or was it surrender? As rain lashed windows, I pondered. Revenge's salt air lingers. But can you sail without it? The modification hearing crashed in like high tide at full moon. Inescapable, foaming with froth. New Haven courthouse again. But this time autumn lights slanted through blinds like accusatory fingers. Ellie waited in the playroom, coloring submarines, while I faced off in Hargrove's domain. Tom, via video from Danbury, looked gaunt but groomed. Jumpsuit swapped for a button-down courtesy of Video Magic. Your Honor, his new lawyer, a weasel named Kessler, intoned, Mr. Harper's rehabilitation merits review. Mrs. Harper's resistance undermines co-parenting. Resistance? Try self-preservation. Mia countered swift. Petitioner's history of deceit speaks louder than letters. Hargrove, silver hair a halo under fluorescence, steepled fingers. Evidence, counsel. Outpoured Tom's prison portfolio. Therapy reports glowing, exemplary progress. Letters from inmates, changed man. Even a GED in business ethics, irony's gift. My side. Logs of canceled visits, his work release glitches, emails where I'd bent over backward. Cooperation, Mia stressed, not capitulation. Tom testified, pixelated but poignant. Jail strips illusions, Your Honor. I see now. Leah bore my burdens. I repay with betterment. Smooth as a used car pitch. Cross-exam. And the frame job? Full confession. He winced. Yes. Feds have it. Sentence stands. Hargrove probed. Miss Harper's video. Regrets? His paws stretched like taffy. It broke her trust. My fault. But it freed truth. Debatable dodge. My turn on the stand. Sweat beating despite AC. Tom's progress is welcome, I said, voice steady as a compass. But trust rebuilds slow. Ellie's stable. Why rock the boat? Kessler pounced. Stability or sabotage? You've blocked calls, withheld updates. Lies, half-truths. That one missed check-in during my grading crunch. The gallery murmured. I glimpsed reporters, notebooks itching. Protecting her, I countered. From whiplash. Recess brought coffee and crisis. Ellie peeked in. Pigtails ask you. Am I in trouble? Hug tight. Never love. Just grown-up pirates arguing treasure. Back in. Hargrove deliberated on record. Rehabilitation noted, but patterns persist. Visitation expanded. Weekends, holidays, but no overnight yet. Counseling mandatory, joint. Gavel fell. Tom nodded thanks through screen. Outside, he messaged later, fair. We'll earn it. Winter wrapped mystic in whitecaps and wool. Holidays a minefield of merged traditions. Thanksgiving at my folks. Tom zoomed in for pie. Awkward but Ellie beaming. Christmas? Neutral turf. Griswold lights at a new London hotel. Him on day pass. Bearing a telescope upgrade. We strung popcorn under a plastic tree. Ellie directing carols off-key. Jingle bells, Batman smells, she giggled, and Tom joined, baritone rumbling. For a flicker, it felt like before, minus the rot. This okay? He whispered as she dozed on the couch. It's progress, I admitted, ornaments glinting like fragile hope. New Year brought resolutions and revelations. Mia uncovered Kessler's play. Tom's ethics course? Taught by a disbarred fraudster. Leverage, she grinned. We held fire. No need to scorch earth anew. Ellie started youth theater, landing Wendy in Peter Pan, flying on wires, voice carrying dreams. Mommy, it's like us, lost boys finding home. Poetic punch. Tom attended opening night, front row, applause thundering his pride. Spring stirred scandals. Sarah's Charleston glow up? Tarnished. A mutual friend spilled. DUI, messy breakup, couch surfing. Karma, the friend texted. Justice? Or just life's lottery? I messaged her heard. Hang in. Response. Thanks. Owe you eternity. Debts unpaid, but bridges unburned. Tom's midway mark hit with a parole hearing. I testified neutral. He's consistent with Ellie. Cautious optimism. Hargrove, retired now, but consulted, nodded approval. Parole granted, conditions galore. Ankle monitor, job hunt, no booze. Release day, June solstice. Ellie and I met at the gates. Him in civvies, duffel slung, eyes scanning like a soldier home. Free air, he breathed, hugging Ellie fierce. To me, handshake, electric. Dinner? My treat, ramen, if that's all I got. We ate at a hole in the wall, chopsticks clacking like Morse code. Ellie dominated. Camp tales, theater triumphs. Tom listened, really listened. No interruptions, just nods. After drop-off, he walked me to the car. Leah, the more money, it's flowing. Sell the startup shares. Shares he'd hidden? Feds seized most, I said. But restitution's yours. Mine? Tainted treasure. For her college. Ours. Ours again. I drove away, rear view shrinking him, heart a tangle of thorns and tinsel. Summer scorched with second chances. Tom rented a studio in Groton, Spartan, but his bookshelves groaning Marcus Aurelius, Ellie's drawings pinned like medals. Weekends, he picked her up. Beach bonfires, lighthouse climbs. I shadowed first visits, paranoia prickling, but he shone, building sandcastles, not empires. You're good at this. I conceded one pickup, her sandy and sun-kissed. Learning late. He replied, rueful grin. Controversy crested at Ellie's 12th bash. Pool party at a Mystic Inn. Inflatables bobbing like buoys. Tom's invite. Ellie's doing. He arrived with floats, but drama docked. Kessler, off duty, spotted us, slurring congratulations over beers. Winning her back? Harper? Slurred to shouts. That video stunt. Child abuse, if you ask me. Guests froze. Ellie paled. Tom defused, steering him out. Not here. But whispers rippled. Old wounds reopened. Aftermath. Ellie cried in my lap. Was I bad, Mommy? Gut wrench. No, brave. But words hurt like waves. Tom called. My mess. I'll handle Kessler. He did. Restraining order, firm boundaries. Strength in surrender. Fall foliage framed fractures. Tom landed gig economy. Uber for execs, ironic wheels. Driving my own fate. He joked over coffee, platonic, public. We talked. Real talk. Yale dreams curdled by cutthroat climbs, my shielding as codependence. We enabled each other, I said. He nodded. Die the thoughts anew. Ellie's 13th loomed, teen tides turning. Can Daddy stay over for my party? She asked, braces glinting. Overnight? Monitor be damned. If he behaves, I teased. He did. Pizza, panic. At the disco on Spotify, Dad jokes bombing hilariously. Post-party, clean-up duet. This domestic? He quipped, scrubbing plates. Don't get ideas. I shot back, suds flying. Laughter, light, dangerous. Winter warned of whirlpools. Mia's successor, a kid named Theo, flagged Tom's restitution, IRS audit, shortfalls. He cooking again? Theo asked. Paranoia peaked. I hired a PI. Clean bill, just bureaucracy. But trust? Threadbare as a heirloom quilt. The reckoning tide peaked Yule. Joint custody motion, Tom's Hail Mary. Stability for Ellie, Kessler argued in chambers. Evidence. Months of logs, his, mine, harmonious. Hargrove's successor, a young Turk named Voss, chewed it over. Shared parenting presumptive, unless detriment. Detriment? Our history's novel. He ruled split. 60-40 me, but overnight's greenlit. Trial period, Voss said. No gasps this time. Ellie thrilled. I trembled. First overnight. Tom's studio. Her bed a pallet of pillows. Pick up. Her glowing. It was fun, Mommy. We made pancakes. Tom. Sheepish. No disasters. Progress or peril. As snow fell, I pondered tides. Pull back or plunge in. The 60-40 split settled like silt after flood. Murkier depths, but clearer surface. Ellie's weeks ping-ponged between Mystic Cottage and Groton's Spartan Perch, backpack stuffed with half her life. Braces kit, sketch pads, that telescope for stargazing splits. It's like custody of the moon. She quipped at 14, braces off, voice dipping teen low. Moon custody, poetic, painful. I nodded, packing her favorite hoodie. Phases, baby. Full or new, you're whole. Tom's reintegration rolled like a well-oiled Buick. Job at a nonprofit now. Ethics consulting for startups. Blind leading the sighted, he joked. No more VP swagger. Humility suited him, rumpled shirts and all. Dinners blurred boundaries. Family style at my place. His cooking Italian from a prison cookbook. Spaghetti carbonara, garlic bread crisp. Ellie dominated table talk. Crushes on K-pop stars. Debates on climate strikes. Daddy, you fixed the planet yet? She'd tease. He'd grin. Working on it, activist. But undercurrents churned. Kessler, that weasel, slunk away after a bar spat with Tom. Disbarment whispers. Sarah? Charleston chapter closed. A Christmas card, photo of her with a labradoodle. New beginnings. I reciprocated with Ellie's theater pick. Winnie flying high. Amends, anonymous. My world widened. Memoir manuscript to agents. Gasp, as working title. Rejection stung. Too controversial. Readers split on the kid angle. But one bit. Raw, real. Polish the twist. Twist? The letter, the check, Tom's slow thaw. I wove it in. Pages pulsing with ambiguity. Hero? Heel? Or human? Hashed in hypocrisy? Ellie's 14th dawned dramatic. Sweet 16 teas. Between angst full throttle. Party at the planetarium. Stars wheeling overhead. Tom and I co-hosted. Awkward tango. Him manning the projector. Me the snacks. A guest, classmate's dad, real estate shark, cornered us. Heard the story. Bold move, the video. But kids. Collateral. Ellie overheard, storming off mid-orbit. Back home, tears torrent. Am I damaged, Mommy? Heart shatter. No, darling. You're the light we've fought for. Tom and I tag-teamed comfort. His apologies for the past, my assurances of pride. Post-meltdown, porch powwow. Wine for me, scotch for him, Ellie Abed. We scarred her, he said, stars mocking. But healed too. I countered. Silence stretched. Then, Leah, this thing. It's working. Working? Warmth flickered, forbidden. Don't. I warned, but leaned closer. Kiss. No. Hand squeeze, electric echo. Spring surged with scandals averted. Theo unearthed Tom's old offshore. Feds froze it, but restitution rerouted. Clean slate. Theo asked. As clean as New England mud. Ellie aced algebra, auditioned for Leeds, landing Rizzo in Greece. Tough girl swagger, suiting her spine. Summer solstice, Tom's full release. No monitor, just meetings. We celebrated low-key. Clam bake on the beach, fire crackling secrets. Ellie buried him in sand, pirate style. Treasure or trap, Daddy? He laughed. Both, Captain. Later, waves lapping. She wandered shells. We talked truths. Love you still, he asked, voice low. Parts, I admitted. The father, the fixer. Not the fraud. Honesty's hook, sharp, sustaining. Falls Fury, Ellie's high school app drama. Essays on resilience, our saga sanitized. The gasp changed me, she wrote. Showed strength in vulnerability. Colleges aided. Acceptances piled like leaves. Tom's pride swelled. Our girl. Controversy climaxed at holiday court check-in. Voss reviewing logs. Any issues? None, bar one. Ellie's request for equal time. It's fair, she testified, 15 now, poised as a prosecutor. I love you both same. Voss nodded. Child's voice weighs heavy. Ruling, 50/50ths, seamless shuffle. Gallery gasped, soft, this time. Victory? Or vertigo? Winter-wrapped resolutions. Tom's nonprofit boomed. He keynote ethics panels. From fraud to fortitude. I signed with an agent. Memoir deal, gasp greenlit. Book tour whispers. It'll divide brunch tables. Good, truth should. Ellie's 16th, sweet, stormy. Quinceañera vibes, but Yankee, diner bash, milkshakes, and Metallica. Tom and I danced awkward dad-daughter, then slow sway. Eyes locking, past paling. Future, he murmured. Unwritten, I whispered. Horizons hazy, hopeful. Now, as snow dusts mystic, Ellie drives, permit fresh, radio blasting her tunes. Tom and I, coffee dates, no labels, friends forging from fractures. The gasp echoes faint, lesson loud. Revenge tides recede, leaving shells of what was. Debate lingers. Who won? No one. All. In America's weave of wrong and right, we stitch survival, controversial as cursive in a digital age. And if you ask Ellie, best story ever, Mom. With sequels,